Scanning for audio.
Hello and welcome to a Tin Dog podcast. This time reviewing the novel Adaptations, number 12. This one's Goth opera. I must admit I do need to apologise if you can hear somebody cutting grass outside, but can't really help that. Okay, so let's do the synopsis first, then we can look at exactly what we've got. Manchester 1993, the Time Lady Ruath, an old friend of the Doctor's, who obviously we've all heard of before, arrives on the planet to inform Earth's vampires that the arrival of their legendary messiah is imminent. His rising will herald the age of the endless night, where the dead reign supreme. All that's needed is the blood of a Time Lord. In Tasmania, the Doctor, Tegan and Nyssa are enjoying the sun and plenty of cricket. And tea, more about that in a moment. Where they are attacked by vampires, they escape unscathed, except for Nyssa, who suffers 2 small puncture wounds to her neck. Compelled by her attackers to remain silent, she can tell no one that she's what she's turning into. Why is Ruath so determined to see the descendants of the great vampire rise to power? If only the Doctor knew the truth. He certainly would turn to her side to help secure the future vampire kind, no matter how much humanity would suffer. Sorry, my reading is still not as good as it once was. Right. This is based on the 1994 Missing Adventure by Paul Cannell. It has been turned into a rather nice, weirdly 3-parter. Well, that's what it feels like. By Elizabeth Miles, who always does a really nice job. Okay, so the novel adaptations can be taken as a sidestep, a slightly non-canonical, if you want to go down that road, version of Doctor Who, but let's face it, it's which bits of made-up history are real. Yeah, so we get that, but for the longest of times, the novelisations were the only real Doctor Who there was. Before Big Finish and before Doctor Who was ever going to come back to TV. I mean, let's face it, this is 4 years after Doctor Who was on TV. We never thought it was going to come back. This was it. So this was the direction. I know Paul Cannell likes to call it the funfair years. But this was when people were having literally a lot of fun with Doctor Who. They were taking it and making it their own. It's more the garage kit years for me. So, we all know the story on TV of the great vampires. We get that. But here we've got a Nyssa story. Let's face it, cards on the table. This is a Nyssa-heavy story. The Doctor is, well, not secondary, because obviously this programme is Doctor Who. But Tegan is in it, and so is the Doctor. The Doctor does tend to drink a hell of a lot of tea in this story. And that's where, if you were reading this as a novel, you'd be like, yep, that's fine, going on. But when you're listening to it, you're like, what's the Doctor doing now? Narratively wise, it ticks every single vampire box you're going. I mean, you could have just made a list of all of the vampire-y type things. You know, it's like, and then you have to deal with them in the Doctor Who universe where you've got religion and faith and all of that business that we've dealt with via, well, you've seen the TV, you know all this. You don't need me to be going on about it. What I do need to say is that it is its own thing. You can't try and make this fit in with anything. It'll start grinding your gears. You'll be like, sorry, vampires share DNA with Time Lords, which, to be fair, makes more sense and is a lot more fun than The Timeless Child. Yeah, But of course, that's real because that was on telly. Yeah. If you want to ignore all of the Timeless Child, here's a route you can go down. An alternative universe that'll make you smile and beam. So what else have we got going on? Well, like I said, it is Nyssa-centric. And as such, Sarah Sutton actually gets given quite a lot to do. Admittedly, most of it is, fairly familiar Buffy-type ground. Oh, I'm turning into a vampire. I haven't quite turned into a vampire yet. And you're thinking, well, it's Nyssa. She's not going to be a vampire. But that's fine, because that's the story. Everything always gets a reset. We're used to that sort of thing in the world of Doctor Who. We can handle it. Is it my all-time favourite of the adaptations? No. Will I listen to it again? Probably. Do I love vampires? Oh, yes. And vampires in Doctor Who is a no-brainer. It's the sort of thing that would make me happy. Perhaps this sort of story could have been expanded out into more than one novel. And we do have some characters who may or may not have survived. Yeah, who could have gone on to other things. I've got no real problems with it. But it did feel less than the sum of its parts, and that's no reflection on the performances or even Elizabeth Miles' adaptation, because it is an adaptation of a book. And you will enjoy it. Just don't think about it too much, because you'll start getting sleepless nights and start worrying how things fit together. Just don't even go down that road. Just see it for what it is and go with it. Here's the trailer and decide for yourself as always. Until next time, be seeing you.
I wouldn't mind a taste of Morrissey. What do you think his blood would taste like?
Milk it, love.
From Big Finish Productions, Doctor Who, Goth Opera.
You may call me Ruath. I am a Time Lord of Gallifrey. The ring I wear shows the great seal of Rassilon. I know the secrets of your past, and I know the great destiny that awaits you.
You're flying. What are you?
You've got an interesting mind. You're not human, are you?
How do you know?
No, get away from me!
I don't want to die.
Not up to me. Sorry.
Nyssa? You okay?
Tegan!
Hang on!
Tegan, what's going on?
Are you certain you're all right?
I just need to rest.
It's Nyssa you should worry about.
I am worrying.
Yes, I know that face.
What face?
The I'm missing something important face.
Am I? Maybe I am.
They called themselves the Great Vampires. To this day, the very mention of their name strikes fear in the heart of every true Gallifreyan.
I am Yavin, Lord of the House of Yah, father of all the Earth's undead. Kneel before me.
The power of the Time Lords in your veins. All of time and space is yours to explore and to conquer.
Together, we shall be Queen and King of the Night. We will unite the humans and the Time Lords in the great communion of the undead. Together, nothing will be beyond our reach.
Big Finish, for the love of stories.
That was the Tin Dog Podcast. Available on Spotify, iTunes, Acast, Stitcher, and wherever good podcasts are found. Get early access to content by subscribing to the Tin Dog Podcast YouTube channel. You can support the show at patreon.com/tindog. Contact the show on Twitter at tindogpodcast or email tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. All of the things discussed are the intellectual property of others. No infringement is intended. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.